Problem-based learning is a very different way of teaching from how we were taught to teach. So particularly on the first project, it's helpful to have someone else to work through the problems and share your successes with along the way.
You really need to choose someone that you feel comfortable having some really challenging conversations with. You don't want a yes person. You want someone that's going to make you reflect on your thinking. Now that could be someone in the same year level. It could be leadership. It could even be someone from a different school. You just really want someone that you can bounce ideas off and someone that you feel comfortable with, you trust and you get along well with.
Yeah, it's really important to have a critical friend, especially in new learning. In any new learning, you need someone to bounce ideas from.
Like we say, when you're going through this problem-based learning thing and you're not guiding the lessons, you feel like, okay, I'm about to walk into this lesson, I don't know what I'm going to do. That can be overwhelming, and I think some people along the way have found that harder than others. And you have to be a bit of an improv teacher. And being able to sort of bounce off of ideas off people, or if they say this, I might do this today, or if this happens, I might do this, and kind of connecting with other people.
I think the best thing that has been throughout the process is my colleagues. Before each lesson, we would talk briefly about what the lesson would look like. You know, it might be, okay, we're still researching, or we want them to start thinking about solutions today, or today we're going to start guiding them in this direction, or whatever it may be. That's definitely been one thing that helped me sort of overcome that. To be honest, it's had its ups and downs. The whole process, even today before we were presenting, I was still thinking, oh my gosh, have they learnt anything? What's it going to be like? Are the students going to be able to articulate their thinking? Have they really been on task? You know, just double guessing everything. But after seeing what they've produced today, it was such a relief and just really, really rewarding to see how well they spoke and how passionate they were about their solutions. And they surprised me, and it was fantastic.
I think we work well together because we come from different angles. So we look at problems in different ways sometimes, but we're honest with each other. We trust each other's opinion, and so we can have honest conversations.
The fact that Sue challenges my thinking makes me improve my thinking. And if you're questioning yourself, chances are you're going to revisit that idea, make it better, improve on it. And we know two heads are better than one.
Lots of people ask us whether or not they should look for the industry partner first, or whether they should find a problem and then fit that to an industry partner. What do you think?
I think it's important to start with the industry partner just for ease sake. It's going to be easier starting that way rather than the problem. If you start with the problem and then you're trying to match an industry to that problem, you're just not going to have the industry contacts to be able to make that successful, make that work. Cold calling is hard. You know, to ring someone up and with no contact or no connection and then try and persuade them to be an industry partner with problem-based learning, it's just going to take time and it's going to be hard. For your first one, go with something you know. Once you've got your industry partner, then you can negotiate and discuss with them the kind of problem that would suit your students out of a range of problems that they might be having. Start with the industry partner, make it easy, and then you'll feel more confident to pursue problem-based learning. So people would then ask, if the students don't choose the problem, how do you know if they're going to like it?
I've got to be honest, we've had problems like, how are we going to create more protein for people to eat in a sustainable way? And on the face of it, that doesn't seem like a problem that students are going to connect with. But sometimes it's not so much about the problem and finding a way for the students to connect. The students find their own way into the problem as the problem develops. They're investigating it and they find out how to find the bit that they're interested in. So for example, with the protein problem, some of the students connected because they were vegetarian, and they wanted to help spread the word about good non-meat sources of protein. Some of the students' imagination was captured because they had a farm, so they knew about farming methods. So students find their own way into a problem through their own interests and their own capabilities. Up on the screen, we'll list the problems we've seen worked on by students in schools And you'll probably agree that on face value, they don't feel like perfect problems. Once the students start doing mind mapping and pulling the problem apart, we'll talk about that in another video. That's usually when they realise that building a bridge isn't just about building a bridge. It's about animals, communication, finances, and so many other things. That's when they make the connection with the problem. Students having to come up with a solution for building a bridge across a river that is not a river that they're ever going to cross, not a bridge that they're ever going to go on, but it's relevant because it's a problem that's happening in their world today. The engineer is sitting there saying, we've been given this question and we have to solve it, this problem, and we have to solve it.
When we first were given the problem, we didn't think the kids were going to be interested in it. We heard other schools' problems and we were like, oh, wow, that one sounds great. Why can't we do that? And then we were so surprised how well they took it on board and how well they embraced it. I think, and that's really just because they know it's a real world thing. They know it's going to, we were talking about how, you could be driving down the road 10 years from now and see something that you've talked about that the council's implemented because of you. And them sitting there and reflecting on that and then going, okay, driving down the street and thinking about the houses and the heating islands and that sort of stuff. You see, they feel the empowerment because they can see it actually happening in the real world.
So another question we often get is why have an industry partner come to school? Can't you still have a real world problem without inviting an industry partner into the classroom?
We have an industry partner for authentic context. It's their problem. It's not the teacher's problem. The students get so tired of hearing from us. If you get someone else to present, the students will sit and listen to them for hours. The students make a personal connection with that partner as well. It's a human element. The context, the question becomes something that the students become engaged with because it matters to the other person. And you like helping people to solve problems. So students feel as though their time and their opinions are being valued.
I think it's so much more exciting than just having normal task work in school. I think an industry partner coming in and presenting is really important.
It's really exciting because instead of just doing math sheets like John picked an apple, blah, 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 it's like we have to solve this problem with a bridge.
They were really intrigued and very excited about being involved with people outside of school.
They have this different type of respect. It's not a disrespect that they have towards a teacher, but it's a new respect that they have for this industry partner, and they just want to learn from someone that is an expert. And I think that was really interesting to see that the students were just so engaged with wanting to learn more from someone that was an expertise. And I think that is critical to making the PBL work really effectively.
We talk about silos. We talk about silos in maths. Maths is taught in maths and science is taught in science. But also kids have a tendency to create their own silos. School is a silo. Life is a silo. And they don't make those connections across them. So making them see the context and the connections between them, school is relevant to life. It's really important. It connects the real world with school. If you give the kids a problem without an industry partner, they see it as the equivalent of a textbook problem. If you get the engineer to come in, it's completely different.